Episode 4's ending with Leon killing Skully's daughter was one of the most craziest scenes that I've ever seen on Snowfall, but it was also one hell of a mistake, but could actually be what's needed to realize that he needs Franklin and Franklin needs Leon now that his muscle and bodyguard has left him. I'm talking all things episode 4 of Snowfall, so welcome back to MovieBot. Let's talk Snowfall season 4, episode 4. So hope you're all doing great and welcome to another review and recap of Snowfall, and shit is about to get real for Leon, especially after he killed Skully's 5-year-old daughter and who also happens to be Manboy's niece. So we're talking all the main talking points from episode 4, but first, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Snowfall and Power Universe related. But let's dive deep into episode 4, and there's no better place to start than Leon, Wanda and Skully. And this episode kicked off with a drive-by shootout which we knew was coming from the teasers that we've had in the last couple of weeks, and we knew it was going to be Skully's crew who was going to be shooting at Leon and his boys, and I did think Wanda was going to catch a bullet, and that's exactly how it played out. Wanda was caught in the crossfire, and something I mentioned in my video last week was when Wanda lost her tooth and looked at herself in the mirror where she really felt the lowest of lows, and where I thought Wanda may just clean herself up, and this is something I think she needed as Leon took her to the hospital. He's also paying for her to stay there. He wants her to get cleaned up before she leaves, and you can just tell the guilt that Leon has about Wanda turning to the drugs that he once was selling for Franklin. Leon still cares for Wanda. He gives Wanda money, wants her to get cleaned up, and even stayed with her at the hospital. This is something that in my opinion Leon has a bit of guilt over and feels partly to blame for the way Wanda has ended up, so he wants to be the one to make sure that he helps her to get her clean. But moving away from Leon and Wanda for a moment, you just knew there was going to be some blowback from this shootout, and even though Franklin told Leon to stay low, we just knew there was no way Leon was letting Skully get away with this. But these two are going to have to realize they need each other more than ever, especially after what happened at the end of the episode, which I'm going to come to in just a moment. But I can see a situation where Skully and Manboy could really put aside their differences for the common end goal of taking out Leon, because we all know the troubles between Leon and Manboy. So I can see a situation with Manboy and Skully could put aside their differences, but this is something I think Leon is failing to realize, and Franklin's realized this. He needs Leon more than ever, especially after Lep said he's not down with him anymore with the bloodbath. Even with Franklin offering him to double his money, Leps is out, so now Franklin will need Leon more than ever. But Leon went and hired a private investigator to scope Skully out so they could go and hit him, which he found out that he goes to his grandmother's house, where he goes in with a big duffel bag but comes out empty-handed, most likely where he's going to be hiding his money. So at the end of the episode, Leon and his boys were scoping out his grandmother's house, just waiting for an opening, waiting for Skully to show so they could go and hit him. But in came Skully's crew and this face-off that we've been seeing in the trailers over the last couple of weeks, and honestly this was just such a gut-wrenching moment. We already knew that Leon was going to dead all of them because we saw him shooting the car up in a previous trailer, and when Skully and Leon's crew came face to face, you just have to say they were lucky they were sitting on the other side of the car. But Leon and Fatback deaded all of them, including Skully's daughter, and the minute Leon realized, he knew he'd fucked up big time. But here's the thing, Skully's crew stopped and opened fire first. They should never have opened fire with Skully's daughter in the car. I mean, what did they expect to happen? Of course Leon and his crew were gonna hit back. Leon never knew that Khadija and daughter were in the backseat either. Skully's crew fired first, Leon's crew fired back, but this honestly was a brutal scene, seeing Khadija and Skully's daughter in her arms dead. So if you think you've seen Skully angry before, then just wait till you see him next time. And something I touched on earlier on in the video was between Skully and Manboy, there is bad blood between them, no doubt there's bad blood, but as I said, the fact that Leon kills Skully's daughter, who happens to also be Manboy's niece, gives them something to work together and a common goal, and that's to dead Leon. Leon knows, and he knows that he's fucked. Leon should have taken Franklin's advice and laid low for a while, but now Leon is going to need Franklin, and Franklin's going to need Leon, because Franklin's not going to have Leps going forward, so whatever differences that Franklin and Leon have, they're going to have to work things out quick. And I just want to touch on something that I spoke about a few weeks ago, and it was how the drugs and the business that Franklin is in was really going to start to hurt the people of their community, hurt the people that they love, and the people that they're trying to help. You can really see that it's not just affecting the people that Franklin cares about, but Leon is feeling the effects of this as well, especially with Wanda. This has affected Leon, no doubt. But let's talk Franklin Saint and what else we saw of Franklin in this episode, because he wants to expand his business, and is it a good time? Of course it's not, and especially not after what we saw in this episode, because they're going to come under all sorts of heat. But why does he want to expand? Why does he want to expand now with everything that's going on? It's simple. He made a promise to his mom Sissy, a promise which we saw earlier on in the episode in a conversation between the two. He made her a promise promise that he will go legit only once they've made enough money. And it's only when Teddy says this, and this is why he had the conversation with Teddy later on in the episode. He asked Teddy how long is the US going to be fighting this war for, and he's asking because he wants to keep his promise that he's made to his mom, and also because his fate is tied to this covert war. Once the war ends, then Teddy will no longer need Franklin's services, and he wanted to plan ahead. This is the reason as to why he asked Teddy if he was to double up and expand their business, then could the time frame of him needing Franklin's services be cut shorter? We all know more money equals more resources, equals them being able to fight this war and speeding up the process of Franklin going legit and keeping his promise to his mom. But not just to his mom, but his whole family is now involved in business, from his mom, dad, Jerome, Louie, and this is why he said to Jerome and Louie that they're expanding, moving past LA, even if it's not the right time. He feels if they can push the weight, if they can push the product faster, make more money quicker, then the quicker that they can get out of this business. And this is why he said to Jerome and Louie that they're expanding, moving past LA. Franklin has a deep bond with his mother Sissy, and we've seen her do a full circle. Her character from the very beginning of Snowfall, from someone who always used to urge Franklin to stay on the straight and narrow path, she is now deeply involved in this as well. But she also wants to see the end game. She wants to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and she wants to make it out intact, with their family intact. And Franklin knows, he's a smart boy, he knows that every drug dealer either ends up dead or in jail. Now Irene, we have to talk about the Jabari of Snowfall, because she's continuously chasing this story. She's continuously wanted to write this story with what's going on, who's protecting Franklin's saying. She knows it's going deeper. She knows me. She's been given these files to look even deeper. It's a story that I've referred to as a Jabari storyline because there's only one direction this is heading in. Whether she manages to write her blockbuster piece or not, I think it's going to end one way for her. But this episode honestly was so good, where you could see that every bit of Leon's actions had consequences. With Wanda, with Skully's daughter, Leon had a really tough time, and it's not going to get any easier for him because there will be further consequences from his actions. And Franklin, will he somehow figure out how to make everything work? Will he make enough money and come out of this? He knows that drug dealers either end up dead or in jail, and does he want to actually even come out of this world? Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.